Hello, my name is Jordan Haynes, and today we're here with Miss Linda Mcdonald. Today we're going to be talking about strong women and embracing equity. Her topic is strength. Miss Linda, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Linda Mcdonald. I am a member of Love and Word Fellowship Church along with Jordan and her mom, Marilyn. And I am just very happy to be a part of this.
We're glad that you're here.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions for you if you don't mind answering them.
Sure.
So what comes to mind when you hear the phrase strong women?
Strong women, I think of confidence. We see it as confidence, but it's actually that strength that comes through in a woman. And another thing I think of is a woman who doesn't look like what she's been through. You see her, you hear her story, and then suddenly she becomes even more beautiful to you because now you know her story and you just admire her more because of what she's been through. So a strong woman, the first word that comes to me is confidence, but that confidence is that power that lies in her from her strength, which is God-given.
Yes, it is. How important is strength to women of color from your perspective or point of view as a woman of color?
It's very important because I believe strong women are the backbone to our culture. Growing up in my home, my father was 6'6", and I could see his strength, his physical strength. He went to work every day. My mother stayed at home and she was the nurturer. But when he passed away, I was 12 years old, and I had to see my mother in a different way. She not only had to get a job to provide for us and be the nurturer, so I got to see her in a strong way that resembled my father because she took on the role of the provider, but she also maintained her own sense of strength, which was the nurturer. So I think it's very important.
Okay, do you have any role models, like some of the greats, Maya Angelou, Oprah Winfrey, any of those?
I can't pick just one, but I would say that they each represent a very, very special part in our history to convey strength, and we all pull from them in a different way.
Great. Where do you draw your strength from yourself, whether it's spending those 10 minutes in the closet praying or whether it's on your way to work? Where do you really get your strength from?
I draw my strength from my faith in God and my study of the Word diligently. I love Bible study, so that's where I draw my strength.
Amen. It seems like you and my mom have something in common.
Yeah, we do.
What inspires you and why?
I'm inspired by women who have been told no. Women who were told you would never be that, you can never get that. And then, so the underdog, so to speak. I'm inspired by them because it takes a certain determination to rise up above what was told to you. So it's the determination of a woman who can succeed even after the odds are against her.
Have you ever been told no? And if so, how did that make you feel?
Yes, I've been told no, but it's always that power, which is, it comes unexpectedly. It comes when you need it. And each time, it hasn't been too many times that I've been told no, but in every instance, that power resonates in me, and I feel I can endure.
That's great. What has been one of the most significant barriers in your career life or life that challenged your strength? Like, what type of things in your life have challenged your strength career-wise and or outside of it?
I'll speak on a recent situation. A senior manager in my profession called a meeting for the department that I lead, and he wanted to discuss promotions. And in this meeting, he actually told the people I lead to encourage me to retire in order for them to be promoted. And at the moment, I can't even say that I got offended because it just took me so much by surprise. But my peers were immediately offended. Matter of fact, one of them spoke very harshly to this manager. And later on, as I was thinking about it, I thought that was nothing but the strength in me that came at the time that I needed it. That allowed me to just sit, not respond negatively or in a way that probably would have put me in a bad light. But I would say that would be the most recent area where I had to face a barrier.
Seems like he saw you as a threat.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been. But it actually worked out. He's retired now and I'm still. Yeah, so it worked out.
Have you ever drawn strength from other women? If so, like, who have you drawn strength from?
That is a wonderful question because my beloved sister, Annie, is the woman that I'm part of the reason I'm the woman that I am today is because of her. I could talk all day about the levels of strength that she has, but one particular situation when she found out she had breast cancer in 2008, she told me that if I have to take this on so that you and your other sisters don't have to have this, I will. And that meant so much to me because it's cancer. And she took that like a torch and she conquered it. The words to me was said with such conviction and with such a conquering spirit. I took from that because she went through her chemo and all of the other doctor's appointments that she had to go to, and she conquered it. And to this day, I carry that strength in me. And I know she got that from our mother and our grandmother and our aunts, but that's the reason why I say strong women are the backbone to our culture, because she left that indelible remark in me.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back asking more questions to Miss Linda McDonald. I hope you guys are enjoying this interview and we'll be right back.
This year's theme for International Women's Day is Embrace Equity. So gather up your friends and allies on March 8th and take a picture of yourself doing the Embrace Equity pose. You'll give yourself a big hug. You can also give yourself a head start by learning what you can do to be fearless in 5. Number 1, nix the non-promotable work. If you're a guy, an ally out there, make sure that you pitch in to plan the parties, that you help clean up the conference room, and that you're doing your fair share of capturing and sharing out the notes afterwards. And for all you ladies out there, stop volunteering for all these activities that won't get you promoted and won't have you seen as the leader that you want to be. Ask your colleagues to step up and pitch in. Number 2, hear all voices. Did you know that women are interrupted at a rate of 3 times that of men? So the next time that you are interrupted, stop them. Say, hey Josh, give me a moment. I'll come right back to you as soon as I'm done. And if you're an ally and you witness this, stop your male colleague, Josh, and say, hey Josh, you know what? Let's give Yuko a chance to finish and then we'll come back to you. And if you're a manager, make sure that you are privately pulling aside those serial offenders and have a conversation with them. Number 3, use inclusive language. Stop using terms like, hey guys, or we've got a bromance, or what do you girls think about this? And we want to get rid of those B words. like bossy and brash and bitchy and abrasive. I know it starts with an A. And for all you ladies out there, stop calling yourself things like girl boss or lady boss. Guess what? You're just a boss. Number 4, value talent based on talent. Did you know that research shows that men are evaluated for a promotion based on their potential, but women are evaluated based on their demonstrated performance? Let's start making this a level playing field and evaluating everyone based on both their potential and their demonstrated skills. And for all you ladies out there, make sure that you are proactively preparing for those conversations with your manager about both sides of that equation. And number 5, be an ally. Now, that doesn't mean sticking up for everyone before they have a chance to stand up for themselves. But what it does mean is listening and learning and understanding the plight of your colleagues and where they may want your help. And look, we can all be allies. Of course, men, we'd love you to help be great allies for the women in your organization. But women, we have a responsibility of standing up for our sisters out there. Let's make sure that we're being great allies to Black women, Latino women, LGBTQ women, women with disabilities, and veterans. So let's get planning. It is time to embrace equity.
And welcome back to Strong Women, where we are interviewing Miss Linda McDonald. Miss Linda, do you mind if we ask you a couple more questions?
Absolutely.
First question: the theme for International Women's Month is embracing equity. And what does embracing equity mean to you, and how important is it to you?
When I think of the word embrace, I think of holding close, pulling closer, drawing near, endearing. So embracing equity would be bringing it in closer and understanding it, to not just accept equity as a mandate because it's the law. It means you would genuinely want to see everyone be treated equal. You would encourage everyone to succeed. So that to me is what embracing equity would be.
Do women in your profession have a difficult time, as you say, getting promoted or being seen as equal?
I work in a very male-dominated organization, so although it can be challenging, it's not unattainable. It is attainable. I know several women who have risen through the ranks in our organization, so it can be done.
How do women of color become more visible, in your opinion, without being labeled as difficult, loud, or rude, or angry, or just wanting to be seen, as they say?
That's a good question. To me, I don't put much stock in labels. Labels are sometimes a result of misjudgment. A label is often an opinion. So a label doesn't define you. And once you realize a label does not define you, you become visible even more clearly to yourself, because you get to see yourself for who you are. It is a long-running narrative about Black women to be loud, rude, and angry, and with the presence of social media and reality shows, it's really pushed to expect us to be loud, rude, and angry. And a woman could be labeled as loud because she spent so long being silent until when she finally got the courage to speak up. She's labeled as loud. And a woman can be labeled as rude because she would no longer stay in her place. And when she finally gets the courage to step up, well, she's rude. And a woman could be labeled as angry because what's oppressing her is showing on her face, and you don't understand what's going on with her. You take one look at her face and call her angry. So it's the minute you learn labels don't define you, don't worry about being called a name, loud, rude, or angry. So think about that in the line of when you're choosing your career or when you're out in public. And I'll actually go a little step further since we're going to give examples. I have 3 friends who we go out together. We love each other. We enjoy each other's company. It's 4 women. And quite often when we're out, I feel the vibe from the server. I feel the vibe from the environment we walk into. They look at us and they're just expecting it's gonna be loud. And or do we want to sit with 4 black women? And so it's out there, and it's not new. It's not new. Don't think that the women in our history, Shirley Chisholm and Rosa Parks and women from way before you were born. This is not the first time women have been called loud, rude, and angry. So, as I said before, it is a running narrative. It's being just the presence of it with social media. It's just something that they expect from us, but it's just a label. It's just a label.
That is something that I need to hear.
Yes, it is just a label, and it doesn't define you.
Thank you. What advice would you give to young women who are just starting out on life into a male-dominant profession such as yours?
Don't go into any situation expecting to be given anything because you're a woman. Do your homework, be prepared, whether you're going to compete on a mental level or a physical level, be ready to compete. And don't give up. My advice is simple. It's just that simple. Do your homework about that profession. Study the good, the bad, and the indifferent, and go in ready.
Absolutely. Last thing I'd like to ask is one parting thing that you'd like to share about the strength of women to our audience and other people out there who are just like you.
Strength is that power that's given to you when you need it most, and it shows even when you don't feel it. So just count on it. Even when you don't feel it, it's there.
Thank you so much for watching my interview again with Miss Linda Mcdonald, and I hope you enjoyed.